Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. Today we're going to be talking about the finale and what potentially could be happening. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so The Flash has officially finished filming and we finished our first graphic novel of the final season. So we don't have many episodes left until the end of the season. It's going to be ending in mid-May. So naturally, people have been thinking, how is this show going to end? We know Cobalt Blue is going to be the villain of the last graphic novel, which is like the last 5 to 6 episodes, which kind of kicks off with episode 9, the episode where Oliver Queen, Kid Flash and John Diggle are all in that episode. Apparently it's been described as kind of like a half interlude episode where it actually kind of kicks forward the ending of the show, so the final graphic novel. So there is a lot to look forward to, but also there's a lot to theorize about. Recently I theorized that in episode 11 or 12, because it was confirmed Matt Letcher was on the set as Reverse Flash / Eobard Thawne, that we're probably going to have that full circle moment where Barry runs back in time, chases the Reverse Flash, and we will see him in his proper original form that we saw in season 1. Again, the timeline has been changed many times, so he's probably not going to look exactly the same and it's probably not going to go down exactly the same, but it's going to be a version of that event that's probably going to happen in episode 11 or 12. But another big theory that we need to talk about, and is today's main topic, is will Barry, like in the comics, potentially die and become the lightning bolt that struck him and gave him powers? So this is a big thing, and I believe a lot of Flash comic fans are expecting this. Like, people who have read the comics and know about it. Obviously this is a TV show, so not everyone reads the comics, so I don't think everyone's expecting this, but we have to talk about the possibility because it's an iconic moment from the comics that could totally happen if they want it to happen. And so what happens in the comics is Barry Allen turns it into a lightning bolt. As he goes back in time, he's running so fast that he becomes the actual lightning bolt that hit him in his lab when he originally got powers, dosing his past self with chemicals and transforming him into the Flash, giving him Speed Force powers essentially. So it's a full circle moment that is intended to be like, yes, the multiverse is a loop and the reason that Barry got powers was his future self. So this is definitely a possibility that we have to consider, because I do imagine that if they do this, this would be the very last episode of The Flash. Now, this is a completely separate event to Barry running back in time and facing off against the Reverse Flash. That's another full circle moment, but it's definitely possible that both things could happen. However, the thing going against this theory is the fact that Eric Wallace has hinted that this season is going to end on a good note, and you would assume Barry dying and becoming a lightning bolt of Speed Force lightning, striking himself in the past and ceasing to exist in the present, is not a very good and optimistic way to end the show. It's a cool comic book moment that definitely worked in the comics, but I doubt they're going to do an Arrow here and actually kill off the main character at the end of the show, because obviously that was quite controversial considering people had a strong relationship with the character and they just didn't appreciate them being killed off, even if it was like a cool moment and it made sense for Crisis in terms of Oliver. And so I would say here it's probably not super likely that it's going to happen, just considering how kind of dark it would be if it was to end like this, because Barry would actually die and there's basically no future with the Flash in it. Obviously this could happen considering that Nora is already on the way, like it was confirmed in the previous episode that Iris is pregnant. So this current timeline could be a timeline where Nora never grew up with her dad, and that could be because he turned into the lightning bolt, and so there's no future left for the Flash. However, it's been made pretty clear over the last couple of years with all the changes in the timeline and them altering everything after Crisis that Barry would be there in the future when Nora and Bart are growing up. So I don't think they're going to kind of backtrack on that, even if it's a cool comic book moment to end the series on. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about this? How likely do you think it is? Do you think it would be cool? Which is two very separate questions, because I would say I would really like the moment as a cool moment, but in terms of like the show actually ending, I don't want Barry to die. I am one of those people that see Oliver's death as like a cool moment, but at the same time like a bit of a waste. Like, what was the point in the show if he was always meant to die early and he wouldn't have any sort of future? Because it's always nice when a show ends, when you can theorize and think about, oh, what could be next? Like, lots of people are interested in the idea of, for instance, Harry Potter. What would they be doing as grown-up wizards? And they've even adapted that into a play. So basically, if you keep Barry alive, there is always the opportunity that maybe in like a comic book spin-off, like a continuation of the show, they could continue with Barry's character and continue the Arrowverse on the comic book pages if the Arrowverse does eventually end, which is looking more and more likely considering the circumstances of the CW, and there probably not being many more Arrowverse shows to come in the future. So let me know, what do you think about all this in the comments down below. Let's move on to our second main topic of the video, and this is a question to do with the finale, so it links into what we're talking about in this video. And so we know that a bunch of villains are returning in this series finale of The Flash. So we've seen behind the scenes photos from Canada Graphs that confirm that Cobalt Blue is going to be the main villain of the last graphic novel, and Rick Cosnet is going to be playing the character, as it's been speculated about for many years, but it's finally happening, and he is going to be joined alongside many of the Flash's past Speedster villains, the most iconic ones I should say. So you have the most recent Speedster apart from Red Death, that is Godspeed. Godspeed will return in the final episode alongside Tom Cavanagh's Reverse Flash. Savitar is going to be in the episode, although he's not going to be his normal like blue color. He's going to have a red color, and I presume his lightning is going to change as well. Perhaps there's something to do with the negative Speed Force and potentially Cobalt Blue becoming the negative Speed Force avatar. That's another theory for another video. But the one last person that we have returning in this episode is Zoom. Now, I'm going to explain to you why I think it doesn't make much sense that Zoom is on this team specifically. Like, if you look at all the other villains, Savitar and Reverse Flash especially, they have vendettas against Barry. They will do anything they can to get back against Barry and Team Flash. That's just because of personal reasons. And yes, Godspeed was put in prison by the Flash, so that makes sense that he would want to get revenge if given the chance, which obviously he's found a chance now, and same thing for Zoom. But the thing is with Zoom is, it doesn't really make sense that he would be in this lineup, because at his core, he is a serial killer, and that was a huge thing in season 2. The fact that Hunter Zolomon killed people and he didn't care who it was, and he just circumstantially got Speedster powers and became Zoom, and it was just like another avenue for him to kill people. But with Reverse Flash, he got his powers by recreating the lightning strike that gave Barry his powers in the past, and he was obsessed with the Flash, and so he came back in time in order to meet the Flash, but he eventually became the enemy of the Flash, the Reverse Flash. And so similarly for Savitar, Savitar obviously was wronged by the Flash. He was ignored, he was a time remnant that survived, and so he eventually went crazy and became the god of speed, as he calls himself, and he's come back to kill Barry, or he was doing that in season 3. And so Zoom is all about killing people. He wants to steal people's speed, even though I would say Godspeed is like somewhat similar, but Godspeed's still alive. With Zoom, he's not alive, or as far as we know, but this could be Zoom from the 100th episode, because that version of Zoom was knocked out of the timeline as they were traveling back in time. So there's always the chance that this could be the Zoom from the 100th episode that did survive and didn't eventually become Black Flash. And so the reason I'm saying it doesn't make much sense that he is on this lineup is because he is a serial killer. He wants to steal speed, so why would he work with a bunch of speedsters? He would probably want to steal all of their speed, including Reverse Flash, Savitar, and Godspeed, because why would he ever team up alongside anyone else? Even if they all had a vendetta against the Flash, he wants to be the greatest of all time. He wants to be the fastest speedster. So what I'm saying is, he would probably kill all the other speedsters before working with them. But clearly they are working together in the finale. All I'm saying, it doesn't make much sense, but they're probably going to come up with an explanation as to why they're all working together. Somehow Cobalt Blue has got them all together, probably plucked them out from different time periods, because obviously no one of these speedsters are currently around in the present apart from Godspeed, who is locked up. And we know that the last graphic novel is going to be pretty heavy on the time travel, so it just makes sense that he plucks them out from different time periods and gathers them up as this kind of new Legion of Doom, I guess you could call it, but like a Legion of Doom of speedsters. And so, like I said, I'm sure they're going to find a way to explain everything. All I'm saying is I want an explanation when it comes to them actually showing up and having Zoom team up with the rest of these speedsters who are coursing with speedster energy, and why doesn't he have the urge to kill them? So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy the video, if you did enjoy the theory at the start, let me know down in the comments below. Do you think Barry could become the lightning bolt just like in the comics? Also, do you think it's a possibility that with Zoom returning, it's going to be the 100th episode Zoom, or it's going to be Zoom from an earlier point and he's just going to be like plucked out of the timeline by Cobalt Blue in order to be in this team up? Let me know down in the comments below. But for now, if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like. It really helps out the channel. And subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. And so I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.